Hello? Who is it? Are you there? Thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves today. Come on in. Have a sit. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Look, wait. Am I doing? Wonder how I'm looking. Let's see. Thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button and smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video over here on Larger Curves, and so you can become part of this beautiful curvy community that we are growing over here on Larger Curves. You know what? Happy Monday. Okay, that's all I can say no, it's Tuesday, Leah. Okay, happy Tuesday. I forgot yesterday was Martin Luther King Day holiday and also my birthday. Holla. I've been drinking out of my birthday tumbler because I'm not a day over fabulous. Because fabulous, I'm giving up numbers. I'm doing all letters for my alphabet from now on, and fabulous is my age. Ooh, and a little coffee. Ooh. Okay, so like I said, thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves today. I hope that you had a fabulous weekend. I hope that your 2020-22 is starting off on a most awesome note. And I hope that you guys are, I'm coming to you live from my bedroom today. And so I really hope that you guys are enjoying your year. Now, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was I wanted to, of course, do my spin on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And this is a recap and review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 16 of season 2. And as always, I see some things that I should not have seen. I've heard some things that I should not have heard. And as a result, I'm just trying to figure things out as a viewer, as a person who is seeking entertainment on this show and ends up triggered. Oh my gosh. Like I said, a lot of these videos that I'm doing over here on Larger Curves are about the triggers of watching this entertainment do like just outright microaggressive, macroaggressive type things to different melanated people. Okay. So, today on Larger Curves, I'm going to be reviewing the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And there's a couple of things going on with Salt Lake City. We know that Mary Cosby, let me go big. There we are. We know that Mary Cosby, oh, there I am. I look good for a birthday just passed. Okay, let's see. That's good. Oh, that's husband's side over there. His jewelry making stuff. Okay. So, let's see. Where am I? I'm all over the place. This is my second cup of coffee, y'all. Second cup of coffee. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you can. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so So there's a lot of things. So, okay. So on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, if you don't know, let me tell you. So this is their second season. That means they came on last year, and now we're here in 2022. And so some was in the, my hair is so long and beautiful. So some was in the pandemic. I think they started film. I think they debuted like in the pandemic. Did that happen? Or am I don't really know that part. But I know that the whole entire Real Housewives of Salt Lake City franchise used Mary Cosby's family story as a springboard for the entire franchise. Now, Mary Cosby is the melanated goddess on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, okay? And she has a crazy, interesting story. And when they first, nobody wanted to hear about Salt Lake City. Nobody wanted to. I personally was not. I was like, Salt Lake City, why'd they pick that place for a franchise? And then I heard about Mary Cosby's story, and I was like, oh, well, okay. Maybe it will be a little interesting then. But as far as like a city for a franchise from something so renowned as the Real Housewives, Salt Lake City did not scream to me as a franchise city. I know it's like a destination spot for like rich people to go skiing in the winter or whatever. But as far as like an everyday housewife situation, I don't know a lot about Utah except for that time I rode through and they didn't have no rooms. Not one room was available in the entire Utah for a sister. When I drove through Utah, every hotel I stopped at told me they had some kind of freaking convention in town. Yeah, that happened IRL. OMG, one who cares is in the house. Awesome. Thanks for popping in, one who cares. You know I'm ready for you. You know I'm ready for you. You know I'm ready for you. Yeah! Thanks for popping into Larger Curves. I hope you can share this video with somebody. I don't know if you have anybody to share it with. Because I would love to grow and I would love to get more views. And I would love if somebody could hear what we're talking about over here. Because, you know, it's important to me. And I'm a microcosm of the macrocosm that is the universe. And if I noticed it, that means about a million other people notice the same thing. Because there's one mind in the universe. One mind, and we all be getting on the same thoughts here and there and stuff like that. Anyway, so one who cares is in the house. I don't know if you watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, one who cares, but that is what we're talking about today. How's your day so far, one who cares? Are you at work? I don't, this is my work right now because I got some other things going on right now. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I was just giving a little background story about how the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was not a city that was a natural thought for a franchise of Real Housewives, right? When you think Real Housewives, you think major cities like Miami, New York, LA, Beverly Hills, Dubai. Like you're not thinking Minnesota. You're not thinking Iowa. You're not thinking Montana. You're not thinking those places. And so like I wasn't thinking those places, I wasn't thinking Utah. But when they said in the build-up, big city, yeah, Utah's a big city. But it still doesn't seem like luxe. It seems, I don't know. It just didn't scream like, you know how you say Dubai and you think opulent, you think rich, you think pretty, you think, I don't know. You know, you think up there. And while I know Utah is a big city and that rich people go there, I didn't really picture it as, I don't know, interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm limited, but that's again why I started Larger Curves, is so that I can expand my horizons and see the different things in that I'm missing, right? So anyway, okay, so it's a big city, that's confirmed. But the big city has Mary Cosby, who they decided to let us know from the inception of Real Housewives of freaking Salt Lake City that one of the housewives was a pastor who had married her grandfather. And that is Mary Cosby. I remember very clear Andy Cohen going around saying, yeah, Salt Lake City, nobody would have thought, but there's this really interesting woman on there who married her grandfather. And he went around saying this everywhere. So he's using this woman's family story, which was going to come out on the show. He's using this family story. Wait, my shirt's upside there. He was using this family story to pipe up the show. He didn't say nothing about Jen Shaw's coaching husband. That wasn't what he led with. He didn't say anything about Heather leaving the Mormon church and, you know, all that stuff. That wasn't what he led with. He didn't say about how Whitney Rose cheated herself out of one relationship and into another. That's not what he led with. He didn't talk about how Meredith Marks, I'm not really sure even what Meredith Marks does besides be fabulous and talk like this. But he didn't lead with that. He didn't even lead with Lisa Barlow and her tequila factory. He didn't lead with that. What he led with was Mary Cosby and her family history's trauma of her having to marry her grandfather and then lead this church. Okay? So now we speed forward to this episode where in real time we know that Mary Cosby did not show up to the reunion that got taped last week. We know that they did not have her to whip around and to blame for everything the way they had the entire season. One who cares. This is 16 seasons in. 16 episodes in. And out of 16 episodes, the other ladies in the series sat around and conspired against and talked about Mary Cosby. Out of 16 episodes, at least they did this. At least now 10, 11 episodes where they sit around and conspire against Mary Cosby, who the show was built on. They sit around and are like, what do you think she thinks about this? Why do you think she does that? Why is she not so happy? Da, 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 da. Just every little thing, every whatever. They're obsessed with her. And so they also have now spent all of this time talking about her, but they also find a way to blame her for everything. I don't know if you saw my other video, but 16 letters of a 26-letter alphabet descended upon Utah for none other than Jen Shaw. 15 letters, 16 letters came to get her off of a bus that Mary wasn't around and that Meredith wasn't around. So now that happened like episode, 3, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, right? Yeah, exactly. That happened around episode 1, 2, or around episode 2 or 3. So now we're to episode 16, right? And you know what those bitches just did on the back of the bus without Mary there last night? They sat on the bus and tried to blame Mary Cosby for 16 letters of the alphabet coming to get Jen. I'm going to back up. Again, they plotted on Mary to blame her for some BS that's impossible for her to be a part of. Because when 16 letters of an alphabet come to your house, it's not because somebody on the Housewives franchise called about your ass. When 16 letters of an alphabet come to try to find you in front of your friend's day spa, it's not because somebody at your work called in. No. Yep, those damn Beckys. Those damn Beckys, Karens, and Heathers. Damn it. Yeah. Anything for it to not be their fault. And this is so apropos of the society that we live in, right? Really, find the nearest Black person and blame them is the freaking task of the day, right? Find a Black person and blame them. My husband's side is kind of messy over there, so I'm going to bend this like this. And so can you tell me how it could possibly even be a thought in a cranium, unless you're a Becky, a Karen, or a Heather, on how you can possibly blame the Black lady for 16 letters of the alphabet coming for you? I'm put off. And for nobody to I'm like, am I living in the freaking Twilight Zone? Are you guys really sitting up here having oxygen words come out of your mouth to try to spin this to make Mary complicit or responsible for 16 letters of the alphabet coming to your house to get you, Jen? I can't. So let me get started because I have these rollbacks, and so we're going to be here at least until 11. I'm sorry, I got to do this to you. But also remind me about everybody's been blaming Mary, Mary, Mary. But me personally love Mary Cosby. I find her fascinating. And I personally have never, I'm still Team Mary. I'm basically until 16 letters of the alphabet come for what they say Mary has been doing, I'm going to engage supporting Mary. It doesn't make sense to support the person that 16 letters of the alphabet came for, but not support the person who is all rumors and innuendo. But that's what these Beckys, Karens, and Heathers are doing. And the Jenny Wynn, she should know when to shut the hell up. We'll get into that because she's very black phobic in my opinion too. Very black phobic. Okay, so let's get started. Let's play this. I don't think I have a reel behind this. Let's put it like that. There we go. So, oh no, that's the second one. So let's add this. Is this the right one? Yeah. Okay, so we'll start. So we want to do the copyright disclaimer. Shout out, we're reviewing the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City today, and we will be starting with. Okay, so we pick up where the ladies are on the boat, and freaking Jen is roid raging again on the boat. I mean, on the bus, on the scooter, because their husbands paid for the women to go to Zion for a spa weekend or whatever. So the episode 16 picks up with Jen Shaw again, because last season all Jen Shaw did was berate, and yell and make scenes everywhere. Okay, so I'm calling this the setup because it seems like such a big setup. But so Jen Shaw is on the bus, roid raging against Lisa because she's Meredith's friend. And wait, did I put this together wrong? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, wait, that was the right one. I'm sorry, it was this one. Okay, so it was this one. My bad. So the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So they start off on the bus, and look, Jen Shaw is up out of her seat in Lisa's face. Look at Jenny Wynn looking. She looks like there's trouble, you guys. Look at that. I'm gonna make this big like this. Look, she's having to be pulled back because she's physically attacking in front of all the other Becky and Karens. She's physically attacking Lisa for being friends with Mary. I mean, for being friends with Meredith, who's friends with Mary. And for some reason, Jen Shaw hates Mary so much that last season and this season, she's just like hyper focused on Mary. I don't know. Anything that has to do with Mary, she's just like trying to kill. So, in my opinion. And so she physically attacks this woman. Now, I'm going to stop this right here real quick because this is what I'm talking about, how when Bravo's racist slip is showing. Look at this. I need you guys to pay attention to this scene right here. You see that lady with the braids right here? I don't know if you guys can even see my cursor, but this lady with the braids right here, she's obviously a producer, and she's having to remove Jen off of Lisa, the lady in the blue jacket back there in the white pants, and having to pull her off of her because it's said later in the same episode by the other castmates that freaking that Jen Shaw fought Lisa, and Lisa fought. There was a physical fight between Lisa and Jen. Yes. But did we see that from Bravo? Yep, Jenny Shawshank took those shoes from our Mary. Yes, she can take the shoes. That's what she's really mad about too. She hates that Mary's labels are real and hers are fake. Yep, Jen screams fake labels, right? And Mary, she could probably wear fake diamonds and make them look real. She's one of those kind of ladies. So, but you see them physically removing her. This altercation Bravo and the production people did not use this altercation as a buildup to the season for season 2 of Salt Lake City. We didn't hardly see anything in the trailers for this about this fight. Had it been a black franchise though, that's the only trailer we see. So when we had Real Housewives of Potomac, when Monique Samuels mollywopped freaking Candace Diller Bassett, they used that footage to highlight, to pump up the season. They allowed those images to be used constantly over and over and over and over again. The angry black woman, the fighting black women, the bickering ninnies, all of that. They use that to build up their, as marketing for the season. Now, they could have done the same thing on this. I didn't see no freaking fights with the white ladies. I didn't see this on a commercial as let's watch freaking Real Housewives of Salt Lake City this season. They didn't show me this. They didn't show me these two white ladies fighting on the back of the bus. No, they didn't. And then they only give us a little teeny bit of the fight. I don't even know what happened. The description from the ladies later on in the episode was so more detailed than the little blur they let us see that it doesn't fit the images. So now when Mary says they edit her, I believe her. When Mary Cosby says, they edited it to make me look that way, I believe her, because they just edited this fight to make it look like it was just a little tussle. That's what they did. Because Bravo produces a racist stereotype. Bravo is complicit in producing racist stereotypes. They are complicit, in my opinion, in producing racist stereotypes by not giving us an entire white girl fight and by not allowing these white girls' public image and persona to be that they're freaking mean Karen Heathers that were just fighting on the back of the bus. I mean, had this been Real Housewives of Atlanta, they would have built it all up for this one little incident. Instead, this was the end of last episode, the beginning of this episode, all of 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes was spent on this particular fight scene. There's no constant flashbacks, none of that. But on black franchises with melanated goddesses, here I am with the melanin, with the black, who people call black. This kind of melanin, not Jen Shah's melanin. I'm not discarding that melanin, but I'm talking about black people who they call black. When it's people they call black, they allow a certain stereotype and imagery to be put on that person. But then when these white girls are fighting, they sweep it under the rug. They hurry up and get it off. And then I got to keep going. But I just want you to remember that they start the episode off by having to pull Jen Shah off of Lisa Barlow, and Jenny Wynn ends up getting in the middle of it. Whitney Rose finally stands up. Heather's a coward. Heather's just like this, eating carbs in the back. I mean, I know she's a likable person because we like him fluffy and everything. The same reason freaking Khloe Kardashian used to be our fave was because she was fat and relatable. But Heather is nobody's friend. She's kind of out for Heather, in my opinion, and that's it. So let's keep going. But I just had to point that out because that's part of my crazy, is that they allowed that, okay? And so, yeah, so they're totally fighting. The producers having to talk her down, and she's crying about how Lisa is friends with Meredith and Meredith is friends with Mary. So how could you be friends with Meredith because she's friends with Mary? And then in the other episodes also, when these Karens and Beckys are commiserating against and conspiring against Mary Cosby, they have been implying that Mary had something to do with freaking... Okay, thank you, one who cares. I know I'm rambling today anyway. Thank you, one who cares. Where's my thing? Yeah. Thanks for popping in. I'm going to keep talking, but thanks for seeing my point. I'm not crazy. This stuff really happened. I noticed it. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking, though, but thanks for popping in. So I was talking about how the episode starts with this whole fight with Jen having to be removed. And I called it in the description, Roid Rage Jen. And then we see how Heather, like I said, she's just sitting there. and she's not trying to be in it for real. But then she tells on herself because she's like, I don't want to be associated with this team. I think I'll go hang out with Mary and Meredith, the people who she took coach home instead of be around last time. She says she'll be on their team now instead of be associated with Jen. But this whole season, she's been Jen's cheerleader. And then for some reason, Jen is using this Roid Rage moment to then start, oh yeah, she has to play victim. That's why it's not some reason. It's because she has to play victim. So in her attempt to now garner victim sympathy, she starts crying after attacking Lisa and having to be removed off the people. She starts crying so that she can get some victim points. And what does she do, you guys? She blames Mary Cosby. I'm not making this up. She ends up blaming Mary Cosby and then Meredith. The whole fight was about Meredith. But at the end of the fight, her number one issue is Mary Cosby. I'm not making it up. I can't. It's so crazy to me, right? So then, of course, Jen has to ugly cry about so she can get some more victim points because she knows she messed up hitting that white lady like that. She knows she messed up. So she's trying to be like, oh, it's about my family. And, oh, these people, I didn't do anything. And look how her hand is over her crotch right here, you guys. That's because of her. I think her vajayjay's always out like Meredith said. Why is her hand like that, you guys? Wear some underwear or don't wear such short stuff. Anyway, of course, after she blows up on Lisa, it's all forgiveness. Lisa forgives her. Heather forgives her. Whitney forgives her. Jenny Wynn forgives her. It's all forgiveness for Jen Shaw, the one who just tried to freaking fight Lisa. Now, to me, that's volatile, aggressive behavior because this is a pattern for Jen Shaw, in my opinion, especially after last season. We saw her getting everybody's face, blow up constantly. Like, I mean, she has, to me, in my opinion, she has real anger issues for her to constantly blow up on all these women like this, right? So there is something to be said, though, that these women are still willing to rally around her despite 16 letters of the alphabet coming, despite her volatile, aggressive behavior and attacks, despite her getting in their face and physically assaulting them. They're all still like, oh, Jen, you're okay. We love you. Okay. Oh, let's give you the best room, Jen. When we get to this place, we need to give you the best room. They already took her on a spa day and out to steak dinner as soon as the 16 letters of the alphabet came for her. But now let's also reward you some more, Jen, for your horrible behavior. Let's give you a positive reinforcement for that and give you the best room, Jen. You get it. You deserve it, Jen. So then they arrive at the house and there's a letter from the husbands and they do a champagne toast and everybody's toasting their bottles and has their glasses up. And for some reason, Jen shady ass Shawshank Redemption Shaw, with her volatile and aggressive behavior in the middle of the freaking cheers, throws her drink on Lisa Barlow because she wasn't finished with Lisa. She just had to hurry up and play victim so that they would forgive and forget long enough for her to get off the boat so that they could refocus on Mary and Meredith and make Jen an angel and Mary somehow the devil. So she throws her drink. Look at that. She throws her drink on Lisa. Look again. That's a cup. She's throwing it. After she throws this cup, she turns and acts like she don't know what the fuck happened. She acts like the roof in the new house that they just got to in Zion is leaking and she don't know what happened. And she politely walks away with a smirk on her face. And Heather, who is standing right by her, doesn't say anything. And this is Lisa being wet, talking about, wow, what just happened? I'm all wet. What happened? Where'd that come from? And Jen Shaw is over on the other side of the room acting like she doesn't know what the hell just happened. And with I'm sorry, my little hairs. And so then Heather doesn't say anything, but when Heather gets to the room, she's like, now look, I've been watching Jen. She's been drinking a lot. I don't want to be on Jen's team right now. I was just in the sprinter ride from hell, and I don't want to be on the Jen's team anymore. That was not okay behavior. Did you see the way she just attacked Lisa? Meanwhile, Mary and Meredith pull up, and Meredith is like, Mary, you happy to be here? And she said, yeah. And the way, and Meredith is like, that doesn't sound so great. So while they're getting out of the car, we see Whitney and Heather in the bathroom getting dressed for this white party that freaking Whitney put on in the middle of the desert to go walk a labyrinth and freaking let their problems go. So they walk into an empty house. Meredith and Mary walk into an empty greeting, like they did not get greeted. So, but Heather and Whitney hear them in the bathroom, and they immediately say, shut the door. And they hide in the bathroom. Okay. So Meredith and Mary are walking around talking about, oh, where are all the people? Let me come in here. Let's see the people. And they start walking around. They're like, well, somebody's in here, because they're in there snickering and laughing. Of course, somebody's in there. And then Whitney is all, it feels just easier to hide than talk to these women right now. They're so childish. They're so childish, because it's a setup, you guys. It's a setup. So here comes Meredith saying hi. They hardly open the door for her. They greet Meredith, all hugs and kisses. Mary standing off sides, doesn't get any of that, because, you know, they don't have it for Mary. And Mary doesn't have it for them either. It's okay. So they get in and they're like, okay, we're all getting dressed in white. We have some place to go. But the way they edited it, she didn't say, hurry up, we are on a time schedule. She didn't say, you guys just drop your bags off and go. We got to get there. They didn't edit it to look like that. So it appears that Mary and Meredith just arrive and are being told about the physical altercation, and the physical altercation happened, and they're describing how Jen was holding Lisa like this, and production had to come, and they were swinging like that, and it was all because Lisa is friends with Meredith. So it's over, the whole fight is over Lisa being your friend, Meredith. That's what they walk into. That's what Meredith and Mary walk into. So then after that, they go upstairs and they start getting dressed. And oh no, before they leave the bathroom though, Meredith is like, I'm so glad I didn't get on that Sprinter van to find out there was a physical altercation, and somehow it has to do with my friendship over Lisa. I'm glad I missed that bus ride, right? And then for some reason, see, look, she said, throw on your white and we'll fill you in, but she doesn't give him a time limit. And Mary is like, oh, I wish I would have seen that fight. Dang, I missed a fight. She's like, I wish I would have been there, you know? That was funny, Mary. She lit up on that scene. And then Heather's all, why are they so happy? Why are you mad somebody happy, Heather? And Whitney said, because they didn't take the bus ride. And they avoided the trauma that we experienced. No, I think I got it backward. Whitney said, why are they so happy? Heather said it's because of the trauma. They missed the bus ride. And then Whitney comes in, oh, I don't think I brought enough crystals for this bullshit. You know? So, okay, let's see. So then they all start getting, like, they're all ready now. And Heather's like, oh, we only have till the sunlight goes down. We have to hurry. And it's my event, and I have my spiritual person there, and this, that, and the other. Granted, Meredith and Mary just arrived. And usually after you just arrive someplace that took 7 hours on a bus ride to get there, you need a minute, even if you took the plane. I know I personally, after I travel, I like a good solid half hour to regain and then get dressed and then engage or whatever, right? So these ladies walk into nonsense, get filled in, and are expected to just hurry up and go get dressed. No, they need a minute, and it's okay. But in the meantime, Whitney's going around making sure everybody's ready. She goes to Jen's room. Jen is butt naked. Look at them dressing drunk Jen. Drunk aggro Jen needed help getting dressed. It looked like she got her pasties on okay, but the rest of it needed help. So they are in there helping her get dressed. They don't go to Meredith and Mary and tell them hurry up. They go help Jen, who's been there all afternoon, get dressed. So this is coming to the setup part why I called it the setup, because this is how the setup builds up, right? They don't tell these people. And then she goes to Meredith's room. Whitney goes to Jen's room and goes to Meredith's room. And she says, we have to get there by dark. We have to hurry up. She even tells Meredith, hey, look, we don't have any more time left. Can you just come in whatever you are? Because we don't have any time. Do you know where Mary is? And Meredith says, yeah, she's in that room over there. And Whitney says, okay, where's her room? She says, do you know? And she says, it's over there. And Whitney says, okay. And that implies that when you say, okay, she's over there and we got to go and you're in charge, to me, that means you're about to go get her. But instead, she left her. And of course, Jen's on the bus talking about, oh, Meredith's off licking Mary's ass. Oh, look, here comes Meredith Marks, the Wicked Witch of the West. That's what Jen is. So Jen is just evil. She's just, right? Now, and then she's like, why aren't you wearing white? Participate. Because Whitney just told her not to wear white and come on. So now they're on the bus. Nobody went to go get Mary. So it's a setup. Not one of these bitches went to go get Mary. And they're all, where is she? Where is she? She shouldn't have been late. Where is she? Doesn't she have management? So then they decide to leave Mary. They decide to leave Mary. They didn't never go tell Mary, come on. They leave Mary. So this is the setup, you guys. Hey, Kev, can we just go? That's what Whitney, in charge of the event, who knew Mary was on the other side, who knew Mary just arrived, who did not go tell Mary shit. They didn't even call Mary on her phone and say, come on, Mary, or nothing. So they set Mary up, okay, to miss this event. They end up leaving the house. They go. They get to the desert. They have the event anyway. On the way there, they do a flashback to, confession about how really it is a setup, because Whitney admits that she's basically acting this way because Mary was upset she didn't answer her call at that luncheon way back. The pettiness. So this is the setup. Okay. That is the setup. Because after they get to the dinner, because after they arrive here to Betina at the Labyrinth, Mary arrives late, just as they planned. Mary's not included, just as they planned. That's Mary over there with the black. That's Mary. You see Mary standing over there with nothing red on, all by herself, outside of the group, outside, alone, alienated. That's exactly where Mary is wanted with these ladies. Whitney and Heather specifically have been wishing and plotting to get Mary alienated. Every time somebody hangs out with Mary, they're like, why are you with Mary? Why are you with Mary? Like they need her by herself so they can do whatever they're about to do to her. So she arrives late, like a half hour late to the thing, because they left her. And then, since they're all already drumming their names, of course, Whitney's fake ass is like, oh, Mary, do you want to come? She's like, no, I'm good. Because Mary's not here for your fucking games, Whitney. She's not your little rag doll that you can play with anytime. So then they have a dinner after this Labyrinth thing. And here comes Whitney talking about, well, why were you late? And Mary basically is like, I don't have to have a reason for why I was late, why I wasn't there. She's like, well, I just think I had a plan to go together and you both didn't come and da-da-da-da. Please. We didn't come because you weren't kind enough to wait. And it ended up being set up to try to have Whitney confront Mary about, why did you miss my little event? You were mad when I almost missed your lunch. Why did you miss my event? And then they were saying that Jen had to, oh no, they didn't get to the Jen part yet. Sorry. Wait a minute. Meredith was explaining her reasoning for not being on the bus specifically was because of all this tension that seems to be around every time she's around. And honestly, she just didn't want to be a part of it because even Lisa, her friend, is part of this tension and angst against Meredith. And so honestly, she said, I just didn't want to be around all this hostility that's directed at me. And everybody knows the hostility is directed at Meredith because Meredith is Mary's friend. So because she's Meredith's friend, everybody is mad at her. And she's like, so I feel like if I had a problem with the group, maybe I just shouldn't be around the group. Not to mention the fact that Meredith told everybody, keep me away from Jen St. Redemption's ass. I don't want to be around her. And then they flash back to how they were attacking Meredith at Seth's birthday about why didn't you invite Jen? Did you think about inviting Jen? Well, you brought your dog. Why couldn't Jen be here if the dog was here? You never thought about that? And Meredith was like, there was no compelling reason for me to put myself and my celebration status around Jen. We're not like that. So she said, if you think that Jen has been a good friend to me, she said, I don't think that Jen has been a good friend to me. And I agree with Meredith. Jen is not a good friend to anybody, in my opinion. And then Meredith went on to say that, you know, everybody has a problem with Mary being my friend, but Mary has been nothing but kind to me. In a time when nobody else was there, Mary has been there. And Mary just sat there quietly because Mary knows she has been. And then, of course, Lisa's fake ass, Meredith, I feel I was there for you. Meredith. Yeah. And then look at Heather's face. Heather said, oh, really? That's not what your ass was saying on the bus. And then Whitney's looking like, And then look at the two Betsy Bopsy Heathers over here. So then Meredith went on to be very honest and vulnerable and say, hey, look, Lisa, you made decisions with intention to hurt me. And your choices hurt me. And that's the bottom line. And you did it knowingly, Lisa, but you're my friend. Okay? And you knew those decisions when you made them, how they were going to affect me. And you still chose to do that. But they don't want to talk about that. So then, of course, Whitney says, oh, well, in all fairness, you know, we were all questioning why Lisa and Jen were friends because it was just all of a sudden. How did it go from Meredith and Lisa to Lisa and Jen? And Lisa lies and says, I never sought Jen out. I was hoping to help Meredith and Jen. I just want everybody to get along. Oh, yeah, you want everybody to get along. That's why you went and got Cameron. You want everybody to get along. That's why that hostess that was at the restaurant where Whitney was cussing you out about lying on her ass. You want everybody to get along. That's why the lies, Lisa, the lies. So then all of a sudden, this is the setup part. Whitney says, well, why is everybody so focused on having Meredith and Jen get back friends? What about me and Mary? Mary says, look. No, and then they said, well, you and Mary can get back. And Whitney says, well, she doesn't call me a friend. And Whitney says, and Mary says, Whitney's so funny. And Whitney says, what did you say, Mary? And Mary doesn't even look up. And she said, I said, you're funny when you scream at, thanks for making a mockery of me, Mary. Thanks for making a mockery of me. You're just you think it's funny. I'm not funny, I'm real. I'm not funny, I'm real, Mary. That's what she said. And you're making a mockery of my feelings, Mary. Whitney is crazy, y'all, in my opinion. and she's hyper focused on Mary. And Mary said before she's a racist, and I would be willing to believe that this black phobic behavior is coming off very racist because you don't have a reason to be fucking with Mary, Whitney. Just shut the fuck up. She just told you she doesn't have the mental capacity to give you what you want because you want too much from her, and she can't tell you she wants to be your friend. She said, I can't give you what you need, Whitney. Mary tells Whitney, I can't give you what you need, Whitney. I just can't. She's like, I can't. I don't have the mental capacity to give you what you're looking for. And then, of course, Jenny Wynn wasn't getting enough camera time. So she has to be like, oh, well, when is somebody going to say that? Everybody on the bus was saying Mary is so mean to you guys. Mary is the meanest one here. That's what Jenny said. After the altercation that we just opened up with people, she's the meanest to you of all you guys. So that's why I put this picture back in here to remind you that these bitches are gaslighting her, calling Mary the meanest one when we just witnessed the opening of this episode with Jen being physically restrained from physically assaulting Lisa. But on the bus, on the bus where Jen whooped Lisa, they all decided that Mary's the meanest of the group, you guys. The meanest. And Jenny Wynn is so in on this black phobia that she relayed the fake message. And then, of course, Meredith Mark says, oh, please, nobody's meaner in this group than Jennifer Shaw. And you all seek her out. To which these delusional heifers are like, I didn't seek her out. We're not. And Whitney says, you flew here with her. Talking about Mary. How do you expect me to feel, Meredith? You flew here with her. You flew here with Mary, who hasn't done anything to me, but I hate her. How do you expect me to feel, Meredith? Huh? Meredith's like, I don't give a fuck. Feel how you feel, bitch. What? And Mary's satisfied look is, yep, she flew here with me, and we flew home last time. Oh, yeah, that's what Meredith said. Meredith said, as a matter of fact, yeah, you don't want to start me talking about how you two got home last time when you guys went on the coach thing, but now you're mad I flew home with somebody else. She's like, no. And then
I don't know why people think that only talking to Mary, I have a black accent. I have an accent.
And then they again, then they again start talking about, because Jenny Wynn, who should know when to shut up, because Jenny Wynn brought up that Mary is the meanest person in the group, according to all of them, because I already told you, these women sit and conspire against Mary every chance they get, people. So on the bus, they conspired and agreed that Mary is the meanest person. After witnessing a physical assault from Jen, they decided that Mary talking, a black woman talking, is more mean than a physical assault. Are you guys following me? So Jenny Wynn says, oh, and if she wasn't mean, then why would she have said that thing about my slanted eyes? And Meredith, you supported her on that. You didn't even say anything to her about it. Can we beat a dead horse? Who's in the dead horse beating game? I'm not in the dead horse beating game, but Jenny Wynn doesn't have a storyline because her sister wives storyline didn't pick up. Nobody cared about her pho. And so the only way she gets any camera time is by plucking with Mary, the melanated goddess on the camera. And that's when she gets her camera time the most, is by being against Mary Cosby. So she has to go down that road again and get against Mary Cosby by saying, well, she did say that thing about my slanted eyes, and Meredith, and you just let her. So here, we're going to do a flashback right now of when Jenny Wynn was on Watch What Happens Live.
Period. And it come out to be whatever it is what it is. So I don't understand why people think I have a black accent.
Jenny, were you offended by Heather's comment at the lunch that you look anime, like an anime character?
Yes, I think it was a little bit inappropriate by saying, oh, she looked like an Asian anime. Anime is anime. You don't have to label it whether Asian or not. So I was a little bit taken back when I saw the episode, and I didn't think it was appropriate at all.
Okay. Well, tonight the Salt Lake City husbands got together for a round of golf.
So she's a little upset when Heather says that she looks Asian, but she's a lot upset when Mary says she likes her slanted eye in the same conversation. Oh, why do you always have Mary back and nobody else's? They so mad. Stay mad, Becky. Okay. So then, of course, Meredith feels attacked, so she gets up and leaves. And because Meredith is not talking to any of the other Karens and Becky, they send Mary to up and get Meredith and bring her back under the promise of, we'll keep your steak hot for you. So Meredith returns with Mary. They come back to the table. In the meantime, they're all still looking at Jen like, Jen, you're up next. Okay. So Meredith comes back to the table, and Jen is sitting there as cued, just waiting, because it's a setup, you guys. It's all a setup. So all of a sudden, after they send Mary to go bring Meredith back down, so they're all together, here's the setup. Whitney says, so why are we all together if we can't get along? Bitch, you just told me to go get Meredith and bring her back down here. You just asked me to do that. So this is when Mary tells her, look, I don't feel like I can give you what you deserve. And saying you're my friend, I just don't have it. I don't. It's not there, Whitney. So I'd just rather shut it down, Whitney. Because mentally, Whitney, I can't give you what you're looking for, Whitney. We're not there, boo. Does that make sense, Whitney? We're not friends. And I'm not going to say we friends. And so then Whitney says, well, how I feel is pointless. And Mary, with a mouthful of steak, says, so leave it alone then. And then here comes Jen's chance. So Jen says, since we're all having a kumbaya moment right now, and being honest, I'd like to know why Meredith, I want to know why you hired an investigator to research me. Because in Jenny Wynn and Ken Shawshank's meeting, they met up privately, and Jenny Wynn, who doesn't know when to shut up, decided to tell Jenny Shawshank that Meredith had mentioned on another trip that she hired a private investigator, and the private investigator said some things about Jen. But the way Jenny prepared it, and the way Jenny presented it to Jen Shawshank, was that Meredith hired the investigator specifically against Jen Shaw. But that wasn't the case. She hired a private investigator to investigate the threatening texts that her and her family were receiving, and to try to find information out and to stop those texts that her and her family were receiving. And then Jenny Wynn talked about, she talked about that, and then said that the racketeering, and then Meredith said, well, you're the one that called her a criminal. So then Jenny Shaw was like, I'm not a criminal! I'm not a criminal! To Jenny Wynn. And why did you tell me that she told the private investigator on me if she did it? And Jenny Wynn I bet she'll learn when to shut up because she's like, how did she turn this against me? If she's going to be angry, she needs to be angry at Meredith. She's taking her anger towards the wrong person. No, you just need to know when to shut the fuck up, Jenny. So then that fight, that makes a fight between Jen and Meredith pick up, which is what Jenny really wanted smoke with Meredith this whole time, but she had to kind of sit and wait a minute. She started the episode up on the bus in somebody's face, being held back with people between her. She ends the episode on Mary Cosby's shoulder, which is a very aggressive act. You don't get on somebody's shoulder to yell at the next bitch. No, you take your ass all the way over to the place where you need to be yelling, and you get your fucking yelling spitty ass shoulders off of me, Jen Shawshank. Mary is the coolest person in the room, and she doesn't get enough credit for how she had to fucking wrangle cats dealing with these Beckys. That's not appropriate. That's aggressive. This is aggressive. And I know for a fact Jen was probably bumping Mary and shit. Look, I know she was, because that's the kind of person that Jen is. But Mary is the meanest one. Don't forget, you guys. Mary's the meanest one. She's never done this, but Mary's the meanest one. This is the second person's face she's got in not even 24 hours, you guys. But Mary is the meanest one. Jen Shawshank can do this, and they all just sit there when she's attacking Meredith and Mary. But remember, they all got up when she was trying to get Lisa on the bus. So this is what they wanted to happen, or else they would try to stop it the way they tried to stop what happened on the bus, in my opinion. Look at the evilness on Jen's face. I don't even know how Coach Shaw stands this bitch. I really don't. In my opinion, I could not be with nobody like this. And he seems like such a nice, calm Muslim man. I'm not sure how he feels about her kids being out like this, about how her JJ and her hoo-ha be all over, because that's what this argument is about, is that Meredith is like, well, if hoo-ha wasn't out, my son wouldn't have been traumatized by seeing your JJ. And then she's like, you didn't never see my JJ. They never saw your JJ. And plus, you have 10 boyfriends, and you called the feds on me, and da-da-da-da. And I mean, it just went everywhere, anything, because Jen is just, she's all over the place, you guys. And her all over the place is in anger and freaking aggression and volatility. She's a liability. She's a liability, but these bitches can't sue each other. Well, at least not on this franchise. But Heather Dubrow, she can sue a bitch over there on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, let them tell it. But on this franchise, you can't be suing each other and pressing charges when the people get in your face, I guess. I don't know. So Meredith Marks again gets up from the dinner and is like, I'm out. You've invaded my personal space. You traumatized us. You're fraud. I'm out. And then so this is Jen Shaw saying, you're fraudulent. And then how many boyfriends do you have? 10? And then Meredith says, who's calling who a fraud? And then Jen Shaw is like, exactly. And then Meredith goes in the house and politely shuts the door on Jen while she's talking about ask her 10 other boyfriends. She keeps trying to add that in there, you guys, because last episode ended with Jen Shaw again trying to act like Meredith has 10 boyfriends. If Meredith had 10 boyfriends, 10 men would have been on the interview on YouTube Scoops by now. Okay? But that didn't happen. But that's my review because that's all the tape for that. So what do you guys think? Is it crazy or what? Okay. The setup of Whitney Rose leaving Mary Cosby, not telling her it was time to go, taking the only mode of transportation to the event, and then chastising her and being upset with her because she was late to the event she didn't know they were leaving to. That's a setup. For them to all sit on the bus and conspire to make Mary responsible for Jen Shaw's 16 letter of the alphabet incident. for them to also sit on the bus and decide that even after the outburst and volatile, aggressive behavior of Jen Shawshank, they all still decided that Mary Cosby is the meanest one. And I can't, you guys. That's too turned there. And I can't. I'm just like, am I the only one that thinks that shit is crazy? Am I the only one that is like, are we watching the same show? Am I the only one who is impervious to gaslighting? I think I might be. Because a lot of other people in these YouTube streets are like, oh, Mary deserved that. And oh, why is Meredith friends with Mary? And oh, Jen is great. She's great TV. And oh, Lisa Barlow's three-face ass is fantastic friendship. And oh, Whitney, Rose, and Heather are such exemplary people to be friends with. Not in my opinion. In my opinion, I wouldn't want Heather to be my friend because she plays two sides to the middle too much. I wouldn't want Whitney to be my friend because she plays two sides to the middle too much. And she's a plotter. And her real problem with Mary is that, to me, in my opinion, her real issue with Mary is because Mary knows who she is for real. And she knows that Mary knows who she is. And Mary knows that she knows who she is. And instead of Mary just say, you're this kind of person, she's just telling you, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend because you're not friendship material, Whitney. Two faces does not a friend make. You should just have one face with your friends. But the way that Whitney was so willing to turn on Mary at the drop, the literal drop of a hat, she was willing to turn on her friend Mary. Oh, we're friends. And then the next second, she's like, I'm going to get you, Mary. Because that's always what she wanted to do. And then she spent almost every episode of 16 episodes, you guys, plotting on Mary, trying to every chance to take Mary down. What's the importance? What's so important? Why you guys hate Mary so much? I don't know. But that's the conclusion of this recap and review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now with some other Mary Cosby news. Let's see. I'm going to add this to the stream.
He has not said a negative thing about anyone in your family. You want to know what you've done? You don't want me to tell everyone what you've done, right? Really? You want me to tell what you've done, baby? Oh my gosh. Oh, sweetie, you have no idea what I know. No, you have get out of my face and just stay out of my presence. I swear to God, if you have anything to do with the bullshit charges against me, you're disgusting. Against you, Jen. Jen, I would never do that. I'm not revolting like you. Exactly. Because you're better than everyone else, Meredith. No, I'm not better than anyone else, but I don't accept someone screaming and pointing in my face. Oh, but you can scream and point at me and accuse me? You traumatized us. Goodbye. Oh, my God. You're f***ing fraudulent for how many you lived 10 lives. You know exactly what the f*** you're cheating. Exactly. Who's calling who a fraud? Love you, baby. Ask your 10 other mother boyfriends. Bye. You, baby. Ask your 10 other boyfriends. Bye.
Isn't that crazy? So that was that whole little exchange at the end where it was like, who's calling who a fraud? But let's also look at this. Shout out to Adam, Up and Adam. He's going to be doing an interview with Mary Cosby's parents, okay? And her stepdad and her mom. Now, there have been a shout out to Sherelle's World. She did a fabulous interview with some people that were affected by some of the things that allegedly happened at Mary Cosby's church. And I have always been of the mind, and I've said it on her show before, that I don't feel like Mary Cosby is a cult leader. I don't feel like Mary Cosby is I feel like she's very smart, but I don't feel like she's the mastermind for whatever situation happened to come up with her and her grandfather husband. In my mind, what possibly happened was he pursued her, convinced her to somehow come into this relationship under some false guise or a real guise, and now they have what they have. So again, I feel like Robert influenced her. Well, it seems that my intuition is kicking in, because in this interview trailer for Up and Adam's interview with her parents, with Mary Cosby's mother and stepfather tomorrow on his channel on Up and Adam here on YouTube, here's a trailer I got off of, where is it called? I got the trailer off of Instagram, but let's take a look.
Chose Mary as the chosen one to take over the church, and Mary was upset and jealous because Mama chose Mary as the chosen one to take over the church and marry Robert Cosby Sr.
That's not true.
Not true. Mary was not Bob Cosby's first choice. She does not want to be married to her step-grandfather. Never did want to be married to him. He convinced her with, Mama wanted you to marry me. By the way, here's a couple $100,000, and it's your birthday. Here's a brand new BMW to go with it.
So you think Mary is a victim in all of this?
She's a victim.
She is a victim. She better remove herself very quickly.
Look, Mary looks
Because
like
under Bob Cosby, it is a couple.
If Mary does catch this, if she sees this, which I'm sure she will, is there anything that you would want her to know at the end of this?
Tell her I love her. I want her to get away from that man.
I can even tell by just, oh, Rosie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that interview, it looks like my theory that Mary Cosby is somehow a victim in all of this, it looks like it's going to be verified. Because who would know better than her mom? Because it's been, I guess, wrongly reported that her mom doesn't like her, that her mom doesn't talk to her, and all this other stuff. But that looked like a lady that misses her daughter. Yeah, that looks like you can have it. That looks like a lady that misses her daughter and wants the best for her, and is probably sad at the loss of a 25-year relationship with her, because it's also been reported that Mary hasn't talked to her mom for like a long time, but because of the show, she's recently talked to her. So the show is doing a good thing. But okay, so that's my review for the show. I just wanted us to be on the lookout for that, what's it called? That interview tomorrow. And let's go make sure. Oh, did I get all my topics covered? Let's see. We have. So I'm going to recap my description real fast. So it says Real Housewives of Salt Lake City only has a few episodes left in this season, and the ladies are still praising Jen while tearing down Mary. This episode shows the desire of the rest of the women to find fault and blame with Mary Cosby for the most ridiculous stuff. This episode also reveals the failed setup for a Whitney Mary confrontation. Okay, so we had Roid Rage Jen. Then we had popping bottles and tossing drinks. Then we had Heather's Coven choice. And then we had Eminem's Arrive. Then we had Hide and Seek. Then we had Miss the Mark. Then we had Whiteout. Then we had Time to Go. Then we had Leave Mary. Then we had Walking Betina. Then we had Beat the Drum. Then we had Odd Woman Out. Then we had Dinner and a Show. Then we had Roid Rage Jen again. And then we had Fraud or Fraud and more. So that pretty much covered everything I wanted to get out for today, for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 16 in season 2. Leave a comment down below. Do you leave a comment down below? Do you see anything I'm talking about? Am I crazy for seeing this stuff? Am I hyper focused, you guys? No, I'm just fucking triggered, because after the show's been triggering me all freaking year, now it's just like I try not to see it, but then I see it again. I try not to see it and I see it again. Just stop already. Just entertain us. Stop with the production of stereotypes against certain people and stop with the protection of other people, because it's a definite production of angry Black woman versus the protection of white fragility. Okay, because they didn't show us and hype us up for the altercation that happened on this bus, but they did on like Portia's Family Matters. That altercation that happened on there, they got it from every angle and made sure to show us over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And this we hardly heard about. This we hardly saw. Okay? Anyway, thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves. So yesterday was my birthday. My husband got me this card. I was like, yay. And then what he wrote in it was so sweet. I did cry. He said, since our time together has been quite the ride. With traveling, we've been through so many things that can destroy empires. I am lucky to have met you and to have you love me. You are one of a kind, and I hope that we get 50 plus more birthdays together. I love you. I'm so grateful for you, for our love, for our family, and the blessings God has given me because of sharing life with his gift of you. I was like, it's so sweet. I love him. So it's my birthday yesterday. And if you'd like, oh, look, 1111 angel numbers. All right. Okay. Thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves. Make sure you're smashing buttons on the way out, and leave a comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Share the video for sure, and smash the bell so you can get notified and become part of this beautiful curvy community. And you know what? Thank you for spending this time with me today. I appreciate you. I hope you go out and have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next video.